Hi, folks. I'm J.P. Montalban, and I'm here with my partner, James Nastis, for the whole story, a view of real estate markets and news that you need in order to make great moves with house and home. Great to see you, James.
Hey, JP, how are you?
Good.
Good. So today I wanted to talk with you about bubbles, and specifically the so-called housing bubble that we've heard so much about. It's been written about in the press. We have buyers and sellers who are both worried about it and talking about it. So I wanted to talk about that with you today, and the fact really that it's not a bubble, is it?
No, it's definitely not a bubble. And we've been talking about it a lot over the course of the last few weeks. I mean, this is something we study. And what we talked about were three reasons, and there are others, but three big reasons why it's not a bubble. Diving into the first right away, there's a structural supply issue. And we were running the numbers earlier. The numbers are staggering. We've got a shortage of about 5.2 million homes. That is, we need many more homes for buyers to buy. We only make about 1.5 million new homes every year. So builders just aren't pushing out the homes that they used to, right?
No, they're not. Ever since the Great Recession in 2008, when that housing bubble did burst, there's been definitely a shortage every year. They've not, the home builders have not come back to their pre-recession levels since 2008. So they've been shortfalling it every year.
Absolutely, and that just means stacking and stacking of shortages. Here in the DMV, we have an incredibly low amount of inventory. In single-family homes, it's less than a month. Imagine it's 0.87 months of supply. That means that if, and just so that you understand what the concept of months of inventory is, if no new homes came to market, that means that in about 3.5 weeks, all the homes would be sold. There'd be nothing left if no new homes came to market. So it's a staggeringly low number of homes available.
Yeah, and the lowest it's ever been.
That's right. Absolutely. Now, of course, that's just one reason. Then we get into the demand side of things, right?
Absolutely. And where there's supply, there is going to be demand. And where we're seeing the demand come from in the real estate market today is from the millennial generation. It's the largest generation in history, and it has this year eclipsed the baby boomers as the largest segment of the real estate market. They are flooding the market in droves. They are looking for homes, and we've never seen an influx this large of new buyers into the real estate market. And you couple that with the supply issues that we're seeing, and you get less than 1 month of inventory.
Absolutely. Sorry, boomers, you're no longer the big boomers. and it really, and what's interesting, right? There's some subtext to this demand issue. What a lot of boomers are looking to do now is buy second homes. They're not selling their primaries in many cases, right? They're actually holding onto their primary homes and buying second homes, or when they downsize, are actually buying two homes, one in where they currently live, and then another in a place where they want to spend time. And so that second home market has really pushed the supply down and pumped up demand.
What's also pumped up is prices.
Absolutely.
We have historically high prices for homes. The increases last year were staggering. At some points they were 20-25% year over year. And that has led to, it's pushing some people out of the market, which you would think would have an impact on inventory if you remove some of the buyers, but we're just not seeing the inventory come back.
And that's where, again, both supply and demand come into play here. The third thing that we talk about from a bubble perspective and why it's not a bubble is the credit and the access to credit today. Going into the recession of 2008, 2009, going into the Great Recession, what we saw going into it was incredibly loose lending standards. In fact, you remember, James, we used to call some of the loans that were being made were called liar loans because they were stated income. People could actually say, hey, I make this. And there was no verification.
They weren't even checking.
They would know that there's no verification. It's just as long as you had good credit. Some people said as long as you could breathe, you could buy a home.
And for a large part, that was true. Which
absolutely. And people were, and given the price increases, people were buying properties to flip. So we had a big push in terms of credit, and that credit's never come back. We talk about the number of homes available for sale. We've had a structural deficit. We've had incredibly high demand. Well, the credit available to people who want to buy homes, that's never come back. That has not come back. Today, in order to buy a home, you really have to have great credit, or at least good credit with enough to buy a home. Now, are there some first-time home buyer programs? Is there FHA? Are there some programs that help people that can't quite get there? Yes, there are those programs. So we don't want to scare anyone away from that thinks, oh, I don't have good credit, I can't buy a home. There may be a plan for you sooner or later with some planning. And at the same time, it's just harder to get a home loan.
Yep.
So where does that leave? Recommendations. We don't see it as a bubble, right?
No, we definitely don't, and most economists don't see it as a bubble. And we see these trends continuing into 2022. We foresee prices to continue to increase, low inventory, increased demand, and this may be the new market. This may just be what it looks like. So if you're thinking about getting into the real estate market, if you're thinking about buying, thinking about selling, and you're just thinking that you might want to wait it out, see where things land, see if they calm down, that's not a winning strategy. You will wind up spending more. You'll have higher interest rate, higher prices, less of a choice. So if you're thinking about it, get in there now, because at the end of the year, you may not be able to afford it.
Yeah, there's a cost, I guess, to kind of sum that up. There's a cost to buyers to waiting, right? And that cost may be either not being able to buy or having a substantially higher mortgage price. And then if you're selling,
less buying power.
That's right. And then if you're selling, you can afford to wait because we are in a seller's market. So you can afford to wait, and at the same time sell when you're ready. We can't predict much beyond 2022 and 3. We see the economy improving. That's why the Fed is increasing interest rates, right? They're increasing interest rates because the economy is strengthening, not weakening. So it's strengthening. We imagine that proceeding 2023, 2024. So if you're selling, you can afford to wait. And at the same time, if you're waiting for the perfect moment, there's no perfect moment. Do it when you're ready. There you have it, folks. 3 reasons it's not a bubble. James, any last words?
Absolutely, JP. What we've given you are broad brushstrokes about the market in general. But as we all know, the real estate market is hyper local. So you may be seeing different trends than we talked about. So that's why it's super important, if you're thinking about getting into the market, buying, selling, is to partner up with a fantastic real estate agent who knows these markets, who knows these micro markets around the DMV, and can help you navigate what is sure to be a very, very complicated market in 2022.
Absolutely. And if we can help you or introduce you to a great agent, reach out. We're here for you. So for James Nassas and me, JP Montalban, that is the whole story, and we'll see you next time.
Thanks, guys.